there's going to be another. All still getting there. I see 1, 2. The Jeep one for the last well. She's sitting down. Think about this.
Hi everyone, John McLeod from Macbet. We're going to just go over how we played the weekend, a few black bookers, how we thought the track played, and what horses went good and bad. As I said, with the black bookers, we actually lost. You can see what we did. We did close to 3,000 on the weekend. We were sort of in and out of the hunt just about all day. But anyway, we'll go through it as we go through every race. This first race, you can see the sectionals. The first race, they went out a little bit slow and they got home a touch fast. So the race isn't that crash hot. I wouldn't be really worrying about this race too much. Golden Mean, geez, it got the blows, but you can see our price. We pretty much had it. The price it blew out to, I think it was around $1.80 in the morning. We were happy to go down with it. It went okay. It's no star. Just got away with it. There was plenty of money for Island Days. Geez, it shortened right up. 210 at the finish. Geez, that was very short, that one. We threw something on clockwise who went okay. I think the fence played a touch iffy. I'm not saying it was no good, but I probably would have preferred to be away from that one lane there on Saturday. So you can see what we only threw 200 and something on clockwise at around the $12 mark because we thought it had a chance. This second race, there was no black bookers here. They went out fast. They got home pretty slow. They've got home real slow. Magic Conqueror, we were worried about it getting the distance. Now it probably got the distance and hit the line okay. It's going to look a bit better than what it was because that last sectional was terrible. Now, when the sprint went on, he couldn't keep up and he got to the line the last little bit, but that's because of this last sectional. So I don't think this race is much good. I think Miss Cabaret, she had a birthday really. Just the way the race was run, she was able to right spot. Was on the worst part of the track probably in the straight, but just the last little bit she didn't really get away from him, whereas Petunia fought on okay and had worked during the race, so it didn't go too bad, Petunia. What did we do? I fiddled around, had a couple of hundred on Magic Conqueror and a couple of hundred on the bottom one. It was a waste of bets, those ones, because I was worried about Magic Conqueror at the distance, and Trusting Aloha is not really one of my favourite horses, so it was just really a waste of 400, a board bet, you can call that. Race 3, speed, bit slow, got home good. Now what happened here, Miss Lady Brahmos, we were thinking that it would be able to go forward. She come out a little bit slow and next minute he was back in the field, and he, I can't blame Huxtable because he could see that Maddie Rocks at around about the 600 or 500, she was just off the bit of it, so he was going to track Maddie Rocks, but then Maddie Rocks came off the bit and his horse was travelling, so he let it slide. But then Maddie Rocks was able to push up inside of Lady Brahmos and push it wide, and then she became unbalanced and came to the line okay. But I really think Lady Brahmos is more of a 1200 metre horse with the speed on, being able to hit the line. And Maddie Rocks, well, she just does everything right. I think she just seems like a horse. Even though she had the 49 days off, she came off the bit, as I said, but came to the line quite well, and that's probably because when they started to sprint, she just couldn't keep up for a bit, but the sectionals were quite good, so good job. Metamorphic went good, came from off the speed and was coming to the line as good as anything, so it's going quite well. Race 4, speed again, a little bit slower, and got to the line okay. Run for Glory, just a good ride by Byrne. We pretty much had it around about the price it was. The horse went probably the best it's gone because he got away from him the last little bit. It was a solid win, even though he was in the right part of the right position on the turn. But that race was fairly weak race apart from him. The next race, what did we do here? Cloak, we just had it short. It was going to get a soft run in front, and that's what happened. He just rode it perfectly. Maloney, he rode it as slow he could go as he could go, and then take off at the right time, and he just made him work and trying to chase him around about the 600, and the next minute he's run 2 lengths above average. So it was very hard for horses to get home. Reckless Choice is going okay. The next race, this race they've gone out a bit slow and they've got home a touch fast. Spirit's Choice has gone all right here. Just the horse is coming out slow in every race at the moment, and he's a hard horse to catch it because he's putting himself in positions that are no good, because he just really needs some speed to go on in a race and come out a little bit slow and then just track up and come to the outside and he'll go okay. He's just lost his speed. He used to be able to lead and lead easily. So, but this race was, I think Malahide, I think the way this race turned out was a lot of these horses could improve, and including Epic Girl, which she did improve a fair bit off a run. The Great Bambino improved again onto the drier track, and Moonshine Lady, we were saying that it can improve. It was just dry track whether she could actually handle it, and she jumped and improved as well. Spirit's Choice improved. Jardin Rouge didn't go, was about the same, but a lot of these horses like Epic Girl, Great Bambino and Moonshine Lady were sort of thinking, is Epic Girl going to improve enough to win? Maybe not. The Great Bambino will probably come back because he's a wet tracker, and Moonshine Lady probably a wet tracker. But what they all did was they all improved, and that's what Malahide went as good as it can go. It did get up on the inside part of the track, which probably cost it about a length, but it doesn't look like it went that good. But I think she's gone okay still. There's nothing wrong with the run. It was just that these other horses improved, which they could have. Race 7, gone out a little bit fast, got home a bit slow, so that's about where you'd sit. Great, get your grey on. It's got the distance. I was very worried about getting the mile, even though I went around the middle of the track the other day. We had it fairly short, but I hadn't taken too much off it for going to the mile, so I had that up my sleeve to say no, it couldn't. So I wasn't prepared to really bet up at 210. You can see I threw 200 on it just to be on it. Did a pretty good job, was wide, and then had to work forward through that sectional and fought on okay. Prospectus did its normal thing, ran on late. Race 8, Black Book is here shooting for gold, and Poupe, both these horses went good. There is a little bit of a problem with the sectionals here. We're going to have to try to work out which way we go. The sectionals we get are saying it went out 0.3 fast and got home 0.3 slow. We've got them going out a little bit slower and getting home really good. Now, if we follow our sectionals, it makes shooting for gold and Poupe's runs a lot better than what it is on the other sectionals. So, because shooting for gold, really chased hard. If he chases hard through a little bit of an average sectional, well, she hasn't gone as good, or he hasn't gone as good. But if it's chased through that sectional of 2.3 lengths fast, well, it's gone really good. So it's just a matter of which ones we're going to trust. I'm going to lean towards ours. Shooting for gold, Black Booker, Poupe went around the middle of the track, dropped off in the corner when he was wide and wobbled onto the wrong foot, and then he actually come to the line good. So that was a nice run. Mishani Miss, we were against it. You can see where we had it. We had her back down here. She actually led. So a lot of these horses didn't go forward as hard as we thought they would, and Mishani Miss was in a completely different spot. If we change that to 0, yeah, we've got it $4.60. We were getting it closer to the market than it was, but we were against it. This one, Strike, we just didn't know what to do with it. So it was a horse that we possibly could have made it market. You're bringing these horses back in, but this has gone very good, this horse, Shooting for Gold. It's a nice horse. Race 8, race 9, Parko went good. Sectionals went out fast than what I thought it looked, but it has gone that, and it's got home okay. So it was a nice win by Parko. He probably was in the worst part of the track as well. I think he was probably 2 off, and then he rolled back to that inside zone. So I thought it was a good win, this one. He gave nothing a chance. Showzone was the closer, but 1200's as far as it really wants all the time. So with the big weight, it loomed and just died in its run like you'd think it would. So I think Parko's one to follow again. So if it can find a leader's track again, it'll be hard to beat. So Black Bookers, Parko, Poupe, and Shooting for Gold. Poupe is going to be one to follow. You're going to get some odds about it. Nothing there. Spirit's Choice, just a bit hard to place that horse. And I think Metamorphic's going well. It'll probably go back to the midweeks. Maybe at Eagle Farm or Caloundra will be a nice spot for it. And that's about all. Anyway, that's how we went. I think Hong Kong was yesterday. I think we might have got away with something. We're back to fair few winners, but there were a couple of shorties and the last one got beaten. I think the fence was no good at Sha Tin yesterday, and they were coming wide and sitting 3 wide the trip, and that's the reason why the last one went no good. I think we put a few units on that one and it rolled back to the fence and got run down. But as we've put out on Twitter and everywhere, that we've increased our units, our staking by 400%, just because we didn't want to go down the line of putting in 0.25 or 0.1 of a unit onto horses. So we've raised them by 4. So the 0.25 of the units becomes 1. So I would say the maximum units that we'll be putting on will be around 16 to 20 units. Or the normal 4 to 5 units in that range. That's going to be our maximum bet. So what our usual 4 units is now going to become 16 units. So that's the reasoning for that. Anyway, that's all from us, and we've got racing everywhere this week. We've got Wednesday, Thursday Ipswich. I think we've got Sunshine Coast on Friday. Then set to 2 meetings on Saturday, and then back to the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. So plenty of racing this week. So we've got plenty of work ahead. That's all from me. Talk next week.